This match day we will play against Bayern. They're currently in the last position, but for us that doesn't mean anything because we know how strong they are, and like us, they need points also. So I think it's going to be really tough 2 games, but we showed what we can do in the last 2 match days, and again we will do our best and try to get as many points as possible.
Now it's time to show what we are able to do. Now we need points, and yeah, we are going to play offensive. We are going to play as we want to show what we are able to do. And yeah, let's see. We are expecting at least 4 or 6 points to be in the battle for the top 6, and yeah, we are going to fight for it.
So Galatasaray versus Bayern Munich. Remember, you can watch these games live on the official club channels. Harry, this is a huge game again. They just keep being knocked out of the park. But is this bigger for Bayern Munich than it is for Galatasaray?
Strangely, yes. I don't think anyone would have been saying that at this stage of the season when looking at the fixture list on paper, but the guys on your screen right there just have not hit the ground running at all like we've expected them to do. And as we've said previously on this match day, these games are running out. And Bayern Munich are rooted at the foot of the table. We don't expect them to be there. That's not what we expect whatsoever. Galatasaray have been stealing points from teams, not even stealing them, they've just been absolutely smashing, grabbing them from left and right. So this is a really, really dangerous game for Bayern Munich, because if Galatasaray do that to them here, they're at risk of being cut adrift from the top 6, because, I mean, most teams above them are picking up points. You think about, I mean, Manchester United, I know earlier today against Roma didn't get as many points as they would have wanted, but they're still picking up points. So you have to at least get 4 points here if you're Bayern Munich, I think. Obviously, the ideal is all 6, because then you're looking a lot healthier in the league table. But, I mean, a minimum of 4, anything less than that, I think will be viewed as a bit of a disappointment from the Bavarians.
Yeah, I mean, Galatasaray were in a similar position 1 or 2 match days ago, and they've had a few decent results that's propelled them slightly further up the league. They'd like to go higher, of course. They're still outside of the top 6. But what's gone wrong for Bayern Munich so far, Harry?
It's really difficult to tell. They've just been, I mean, they've had a difficult run-in, but at the same time, it's really difficult to say, because they looked like a well-oiled machine last season. I mean, you look at them, the eFootball.Pro Cup champions in the summer. Whether it's the new game, whether it's, players having split responsibilities. Of course, Jose and Matchday representing Spain at the Euros. They're having to, split their commitment to 1 versus 1 as well. Maybe that's playing into a factor. But, I mean, the same could be said for many other players in the eFootball.Pro Iconic. There's plenty of individual players who have to focus on 1 versus 1 as well for the Euros, and they haven't had the same struggles that Bayern have had this season. So, I mean, 6 points here today, we maybe forget about how badly they've played up until this point.
Well, it's a first real chance here for Bayern Munich, hooked into the 6-yard box, but hacked away by Galatasaray, and it's going to be very intriguing to see how Galatasaray approach this game, of course, being well, on paper at this moment in time considered possible favourites right now, Harry, and we know that they've played pretty well in the recent couple of match days as the ball gets played in towards the near post and smashed away.
Yeah, I think the big benefactors of of the transfer window as well, Galatasaray. You think about Gedson Fernandez, who's being controlled at the moment by Munchen. Big, strong player in the middle of the park that you can utilise, obviously, stat balancing mode in effect here. So you want to look for those physical players in the middle of the park. Obviously, other players being picked up by them as well that have really just bolstered the attack and the comfortability of these eFootball.Pro Iconic players.
Oh, it's in towards a danger area. It's Thomas Müller. It's into the back of the net, but the offside flag is raised and the cheers turn to despair as the goal from Jose is chalked off.
Yeah, warning sign for Galatasaray. You don't want to allow Bayern to move up the gears too quickly because, again, despite their position in the league table, we know what these players are capable of. And if you allow them to move into a comfort zone here, I mean, they could score goals in bunches. But, I mean, let's not count out Galatasaray either. Ryan Babel on the ball now. We'll try and feed Stavatak, who's obviously offside, but they've been picking up some really, really good points throughout the season. There's a reason they are entering this match day above Bayern Munich. They've been a difficult team for clubs in the eFootball.Pro Iconic to try and break down. I mean, they've been a real enigma, and teams just almost, they get lulled into a false sense of security, like, oh, Galatasaray, they're defending, this is, going to be, we're at least going to get a draw here, but here come Bayern.
Oh, it's a first real chance for Bayern Munich, and it's Jose again, and this time it counts. Galatasaray, a tough nut to crack in the past, have been carved open, and it's too easy for FC Bayern Munich, and it's Galatasaray 0, Bayern Munich 1.
Yeah, it took just 23 in-game minutes for the nutcracker to come out.
The enigma has been doused.
Absolutely, it has. What a through pass that is, by the way, from from Mestre into the path of Jose. This one has to be picture perfect because you have Krujci, I think it is, getting back to cover the run. It's put perfectly on a plate for Jose to stroke it home, and that's a really, really important goal for Bayern. An early goal against Galatasaray means they have to come at you and attack you, and that might just open things up here for the Bavarian club.
Yeah, it's a very similar layout to the Arsenal AS Monaco game, with Bayern Munich almost being the Arsenal with swathes of possession, I think over the 70% before that goal. And of course, Galatasaray didn't heed the warning sign that Jose gave them, and he's managed to get on the score sheet. Confirmation coming in there as, oh, lovely footwork there from Coleman. He's in towards the area, tried to beat the last man. It was Mestre there with wonderful footwork. The old double touch away, and then just couldn't quite pull the trigger. And now a chance for Galatasaray. Solid defending so far from Bayern Munich, though.
Yeah, Galatasaray have been, I don't want to say aimless in their attacks, but, well, here's a chance.
Almost another kiss of death there from us. We've done it time and time again today. You literally just said that Galatasaray are an enigma in terms of the defence, and then Bayern Munich scored, and I nearly did the exact same thing in the reverse then.
Exactly, but they have been defending well up until that point, and the goalkeeper comes out to smother the danger. But, I mean, just taking a look at that league table, just to show you how close things are. I mean, hypothetically, if Bayern were to take all 6 points here, they'd still only be level with Manchester United, who are outside of the top 6. They'd be level with Schalke, who are inside, but they have yet to play, so there's chances for them to pick up more points on this match day. It's really cutthroat here.
Indeed, as the ball gets cleared upfield by Bayern Munich, the switch is on, and it's out towards Gnabry, but good header away. Jose Mestre and Alex Alguacil. We've not mentioned him so far today, but he's on the ball here. Another chance to play it back towards the edge of the area. It's in towards Jose, and Alex Alguacil should have made it too.
What a stop this is from the Galatasaray goalkeeper. Really nice play. Alex to Jose, back to Alex, and, well, it comes off, I think, the goalkeeper's thumb and bounces back across goal. Just looking at Stav there in the bottom left, he looks very disappointed with how Galatasaray have played so far.
Thomas Müller, good block. It's dropped towards Alex again. Left foot shot. Piling on the pressure here. The Bavarian club in search of this second goal, which would be the cushion that they would need, because based on previous performances, Galatasaray, they don't score too many goals, so maybe 2-0 at half-time might just be enough to take all 3 points from this first game as the ball gets dropped down, because Bayern Munich themselves don't concede too many goals either, Harry.
Well, you're right in saying that. I mean, Galatasaray, joint lowest goal scorers in the league, alongside Celtic on 15 goals across the match days we've played so far. Time for that to change, though. As Matchday again just strays offside. But it's been all one-way traffic in this first half. I'm questioning whether or not, if you're Galatasaray, you do wholesale changes at half-time. You're still only 1-0 down, so there is a chance and a bit of belief maybe that you can conjure.
I think if you can
else
get
up.
out of this first game at 1-1 maybe even, and go into the second game with a point on the board, I think they will be probably happy with that. I think if you can get 2, maybe 3 points from the 6 on table, if you're Galatasaray, you might be pretty happy with that, just edging up towards that top 6, as opposed to Bayern Munich, who, like you said before, need at least 4, probably 6 if they have any aspirations of going further in the competition. They are sat on 3 as we approach the first half end, and it's been a really professional, aggressive performance from Bayern Munich with just the 1 goal to show for it.
And you and I both know Stav. We've heard him on the interviews for a fair few weeks now. He said after the last match day, now is the time to show everyone who we really are. I don't think they'll be very content with just 3 points or just a point or 4 points. They want all 6 here, the Galatasaray. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them really come out of their shell in this second half. We've seen it often, where again teams almost get lulled into that false sense of security and Galatasaray catch them napping and steal something from the game. There's been, numerous chances for Bayern. They haven't stuck away just yet, but there's also been numerous times previously in the season where Galatasaray have entered the second half with no shots and come away with something to show for it at the end of it. So, got to be careful here if you're Bayern.
Yeah, it was a poor touch from Matchday, who took the ball out of play for a goal kick. All eyes on Galatasaray and how they respond in this second half. Largely dominated by the Germans in that first. But as we said, only 1 goal. Alex out towards Jose. Lovely drop of the shoulder there. Now feeds it in towards Alex again. Gets it back into the area. Shot from Matchday. Good save at the near post.
Yeah, it was. I don't think Galatasaray were quite expecting, I think it's Matchday to get his strike away here. The goalkeeper had it covered, but it's I don't want to say it's a cheap corner to give away, but it's when you look at the possession statistics, certainly not the end of the pitch you want the ball to be in.
2 Bayern Munich, 3 Bayern Munich players out on the edge of the area. Thomas Müller now just running in towards. They decide to go towards the back post. If they can flick it to the edge of the area, there's numbers over here, and there he is, and it's into chance with a left foot shot. He's just scuffed it slightly wide of the target.
Yeah, well-worked routine is something that Bayern, alongside Roma, do really, really well, is win that second ball, get the knockdowns. They often utilise Lewandowski. I think they're going for Choupo-Moting this time, as they have throughout most of the season. But don't be surprised to see Lewandowski be introduced later on in the game for that exact express purpose. Win those headers from throw-ins, from corners. I think it was Schüller that time who was the knockdown. But here come Galatasaray. Yeah,
good defending though from Bayern Munich. And Harry, just explain to some of the guys at home that aren't possibly aware of the stat balancing situation and why possibly Lewandowski might not be selected by Bayern Munich.
Well, you have to take into consideration with these uniform ratings, all the extra player traits, things like height and speed. These players will know their club's squads inside and out and will have their preference in terms of not only all the things I've already mentioned, but also the type of player animations. That's how in-depth these eFootball.Pro Iconic squads go into learning their their virtual squads and putting out the best 11 possible.
Ball down the right-hand side. A chance here for Galatasaray to get themselves back into the game. Still just a 1 goal in it, but they will still be fairly happy because they only need 1 chance. And it will be a corner. We saw AS Monaco win a football match with barely 30% possession, and Galatasaray looking to do something similar here.
Yeah, Arps being brought off.
Sí, la tenía que tocar de
Bayern.
primera,
Obviously
pero
have
la
the
veía
likes of
muy
Sane,
precipitada.
Douglas
La
Costa,
tengo que
Lewandowski, even Tolisso in the midfield you can bring on.
Venga, vamos colocado, ¿eh? Vamos, vamos.
Hay que sacar el córner como sea, son muy buenos en córner, hay que sacarlo como sea, chicos. No han
Venga,
llegado
vamos.
una vez, vamos.
Vamos, vamos.
Very good in corners, apparently the Bayern Munich lads were saying. So that's something that, well, on this occasion, not to be. And they defended it pretty well with Manuel Neuer coming and claiming the cross. Many of you at home probably thinking, wow, this guy even knows Spanish as well. He's multi-talented. But I'm getting it in my ears from the production team. They wonderful guys, and I would be absolutely nothing without them, of course, as the ball gets played in and smashed away and out for a throw.
Man of many talents you are.
I could have claimed Spanish there, but yeah, no, I'm an honest man.
Easily.
I'm an honest man.
And look at the response here from Bayern, just shifting a couple of their players back. They've switched Müller from an attacking midfielder to more of a central one. That's going to pull him back and make him do a bit more defensive work. And here is the introduction of Lewandowski. He'll be stuck down the middle. Again, to win those headers down, Goretzka is being replaced. And there's a real chance here, not only for Galatasaray to maybe get an equaliser, but also vice versa. Bayern to strike them on the break. This is delicately poised here for both of these eFootball.Pro Iconic clubs.
Vamos, peleamos cada balón, vamos. Y lo hacemos bien cada segundo. Con paciencia por área. Ellos van allá a meternos intensidad, a presionar. Vamos a soltarla. Vamos, vamos, como sabemos. Vamos.
From one pretty you can play on blue.
Ok,
Te iba a decir, ponlo defensivo esta jugada al menos por el saque de banda.
vale.
¿Vale?
So just hearing from the Bayern Munich lads there, I think they are expecting a last 20-minute press from Galatasaray as they search for an equalising goal, and something, of course, they'll have to be careful with and possibly look to counter as Galatasaray smash the ball away. Of course, they have Lutti as well at their disposal, helping from behind the scenes. He's remote as well and offering advice. Harry, must be nice to have a player of Lutti's experience. Of course, anyone who doesn't know, Lutti is a man of many talents from the last decade almost of the game. And he's part of a managerial setup almost at Bayern Munich.
Yeah, great guy to have in your corner when he's been there, done that. And he was an instrumental part of their success last season.
Oh, it drops here, and Bayern Munich have grabbed the second goal direct from the throw. Almost AS Roma-esque into the area and fired into the top corner.
We called it, didn't we? It's something that Roma like to do, and it's something that Bayern really trademarked almost last season. From a throw-in, second ball one, knocked on. It wasn't Lewandowski, it was actually Choupo-Moting, I think it was, who won that initial header right here. Just knocks it onto the onrushing players. I mean, Lewandowski was there as well, but it's Jose's second. They're 2 goals clear now, and that should be 3 points here for Bayern Munich.
Really professional performance from Bayern Munich so far. And Harry, they've looked at every bit what they did last season today. It's almost like they've galvanised themselves knowing how important today is.
Yeah, you're right, and people might not be overly convinced with what they've seen from Bayern in this first game, but you have to remember this is a Galatasaray team that is so stubborn. So stubborn. I mean, it's very rare we've seen them go
They're an
down
enigma,
to
Harry.
a 2-goal margin. You're absolutely right. We say that almost week in, week out, but it's so true. And Bayern, I mean, this is a tall order for them, especially when you consider these two teams in the league table as well. When you consider, you know,
Just
the
one
points
game,
implications, they're very,
so
very
well, but we can change
close to
boys.
each other. Let's listen to the Galatasaray boys.
Or not. They've done it again.
It always happens.
Let's go.
It
Let's
always
start
happens. I just heard
scoring.
Stav saying, it's only one game. But the silence that followed was very ominous.
Yeah, it feels like they've almost brushed this one off and they're ready to go again. As when really Manuel Neuer dicing with death there. He really could have given them a very easy gift back into the match. Confirmation of Jose's latest goal now. Second of the day, of course. He's having a great performance and 11th contribution of the season as a whole.
Yeah, it's on a hat-trick as well in these final 15 in-game minutes. Wonder if that will be a sort of mini objective here for Bayern. Thinking, of course, about the weekly rewards in the eFootball.Pro IQONIQ, or I should say that the per matchday rewards, the MVP, and of course the best goal. Best way to get the MVP is obviously score a bunch of goals. So maybe you're looking to line your pockets here if you're Bayern.
Yeah, indeed. He'll be going up against strong competition from the likes of Lotfi, of course, from AS Monaco. Cams as well had a good performance for Manchester United. There's been a few that have been knocking on the door for possible MVPs today.
Yeah,
we still have many to go. Dominator, of course, yeah. Absolutely. 10 minutes remaining. Can Galatasaray salvage anything? Well, if they are going to, they're going to have to get the ball back because Bayern Munich are really putting a shift on them at the moment. Now they get it back and Kruji has the chance to break up over the halfway line. Finds Mujahid on the right-hand side. Challenge coming in from Jose, the captain, who has had a captain's performance, you have to say, and, well, frustration there coming in from Galatasaray.
Yeah, Kruji there just trying to stop the break. I think this one is done. It's in the books now. I mean, we're looking at almost 70% possession across the 90 minutes for Bayern. It's them back to their best here, and it's, I think, something that Galatasaray were not hoping for. They were hoping that maybe Bayern were going to continue their slump in form, but it's as we expected from Bayern. We fully expect them to be in the top 6 conversation come the end of the season. Have they left it too late? Have they left themselves with a bit of work to do in the second half of the season still to come? Maybe. But it's still within their hands and within their reach. And of course, we still have a second game to come between these two clubs.
Yeah, it was a naughty challenge there from Bayern Munich, but a gamesmanship there to stifle the attack and waste a few more seconds. Leroy Sané into the book there. So the free kick comes in towards the edge of the area, headed down, chance here, but it's just going to roll all the way through to the goalkeeper, and it pretty much sums up Galatasaray's day. Just simply so far, not good enough.
Yeah, plucked the words out of my brain there. I was just thinking to myself, that has been...
I've worked with you too long.
All Galatasaray's day has just been feeding off scraps. Excellently read again by Jose. A real strong performance from him in this first game, but I'm trying to think of a real surefire opportunity that Galatasaray have had in the 90 minutes, and nothing springs to mind.
Yeah, and it has finished here, the first game. Galatasaray 0, Bayern Munich 2. 3 huge points in the German season, but Galatasaray need to find another level. Otherwise, they will be slumping back towards the foot of the table. And Bayern Munich will be on the ascendancy because you could see them getting all 6 today in the way that they're playing.
Possibly. It's certainly possible. Certainly a lot of work to do for Galatasaray. They'll be so disappointed after the game seeing the statistics. You had a glimpse of it there. Just 32% possession, 0 shots. You didn't even threaten Bayern's goal once. That's how good Jose and the boys were playing defensively, on the defensive side of the ball, but also attacking-wise. 2 goals for the captain. Takes his tally up to 8 on the season. And well, they started really brightly, didn't they? I mean, that was the first goal from Jose. They had a goal chalked off for an offside decision moments previously, and it could have been a lot more. Good work by the Galatasaray keeper, and maybe some some lack of sharpness maybe in some of the finishing from the boys in red, but it's a good start. It's a good way to turn around your season here on Matchday 6. And it's textbook. Their second goal was absolutely vintage Bayern. I watched them do it throughout all of the eFootball.Pro Cup in the summer. They scored goal after goal just like that one. And it's good to see them finding a bit of form again here in the eFootball.Pro Iconic, because, I mean, we've been missing it, haven't we? We haven't seen this Bayern Munich turn up to any other match day. Obviously, still a second game to come. We can't count out Galatasaray yet. But if Bayern play the way they did in that first game, it's going to be... Well, it's going to take a huge performance from the Turkish giants here.
Yeah, prior today we were saying kind of we want our Bayern back, weren't we? We were expecting, well, quite frankly, we were expecting better so far this season, and they haven't delivered. They are playing pretty well today, and that man on your screen right there being right at the helm of it, and he's possibly eyeing an MVP today, Harry. We touched on it in commentary earlier. If he has another good game now and they get 6 points from today,
he's certainly in the conversation for it. And so the thing about Bayern is if he doesn't step up, the other two are perfectly placed to do so. Yes, we've only seen 3 goals out of Matchday so far this season, but when he does score, they're often spectacular. And Alex Alguacil, I mean, coming into the match day, was their leading goal scorer with 7. So certainly plenty to play for in terms of, match day awards. But I mean, you still have to get the result here in the second game. Let's not look past Galatasaray, because yes, they lost the first game. Yes, they didn't give us anything to write home about whatsoever. But that all can change here in this second game. If they make a tweak defensively, if they can make a tweak in the midfield or up top and just all get on the same page, all it takes is 1-2 chances. We've known how well they can defend up until this point in the season. Bayern could really struggle to get anything from this second game.
Seconds from kickoff in this second game. Halfway through proceedings today, if the second half can produce what we've seen in the first half, then I know as soon as the stream ends, Harry, I will be fast asleep sat up in my chair, because it has been exhilaratingly exhausting as usual.
We wouldn't want it any other way. We knew coming into today that the league table is so delicately balanced that almost every single position can change. And it still well might if we see a change at the top. Still so many games to play. Obviously, following this, we have Juventus taking on Celtic, and then to close out the game, Barcelona versus Schalke in our final game of the day. But this one is, you feel, maybe for Galatasaray's season, and we say this often because there are so many teams that are close to each other in the table that seem to find a way to play each other each match day. But it could well be a must-win here for Galatasaray if they want to be within the realms of top 6 come season end.
Indeed, indeed. Remember, you can, of course, watch this stream on the respective club channels, and make sure, of course, you take part in our campaigns to get your eFootball.Pro points. Some of them, the predictions one, for example, has ended, but it will be back for the next match day. Make sure you get involved with that. And we are underway here. 2 minutes gone. Bayern Munich kicking from left to right in their all-white, and Galatasaray in their home strip, kicking from right to left down the left-hand side. They start on the front foot, and this is what we were expecting to see, Harry, and they may just get a chance to swing it into the danger area straight down the throat of Manuel Neuer.
A good start though from Galatasaray. They've already threatened more in the opening 5 than they did for the majority of the first game. It's defensively where they need to be very careful though, because Bayern look very deadly today.
And they've got another chance here. It's on the edge of the area with Alex, and it almost drops to Mestre. It's now out towards Jose, but the flag is raised, and that is just a warning, if you didn't know already, if you're a Galatasaray fan, that you do not want to give Bayern Munich room, because they are looking pretty dangerous so far today and almost fashioned a chance. And now they have it back in possession on the halfway line, but another good bit of play there from Galatasaray on the press. Out of play for a throw.
Looking forward to seeing what the changes have been made here for Galatasaray entering this second game, because, you know, it was a real damp sponge of a performance in that first game, wasn't it? Absolutely, I mean, disappointing doesn't even cover it. So whether it's a personnel change or maybe just a team talk, bit of motivation maybe. But either way, they're going to need to bring something to the table here again, just to maybe remind Bayern that they are, you know, I mean, entering this match day, they were above them in the table, were Galatasaray. So you get 3 points here against Bayern in this second game, and you remain above them in the table.
Down the left-hand side, up over the halfway line. Chance for Galatasaray to build again through Ryan Babel, of course, being controlled by Stavatak, who's one of the most passionate players on the tour. He needs to rouse something in the Galatasaray contingent today, because, as you said, Harry, they've been a bit of a damp sponge so far today. I'm sure they won't like hearing those words, but sometimes the truth hurts as the ball gets played in towards a danger area, and Bayern Munich almost take the lead again. And it's that man again, Jose, who pulled the trigger on the right foot. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think the goalkeeper may have got some fingertips to it. Yes, he did. A fantastic save in the end. It will be a corner.
Great work from Alex as well. Nice footwork to evade the challenge. Feeds it into Jose, who's, I mean, found some great form already in the first game. Scored both of the goals, so why not go for even more?
20 minutes gone. Bayern Munich 0, Galatasaray 0. Towards that back post again. The goalkeeper's come and just managed to get something on it. It almost dropped there for Matchday, but out of play. It will be Matchday who takes the throw.
Yeah, just watch how they operate from these throws. They always try and win the header and the second ball just to find a man open in the box. It's really interesting.
Flicked on, and it's there again. And just on cue, just as you said, Matchday with a flick on, and Alex with, well, a tame header in the end, but it was a chance nevertheless. And another warning sign for Galatasaray, but they survive and they come again. Space on the right-hand side, but they go left. And now they cross it in towards the back post, and the header from Alex could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, it looked like that one might have just sailed into the goal, but it was a vital intervention. Better from Galatasaray. They seem to have a bit more of an idea of what they want to do with the ball now. And that might just scare Bayern a little bit.
It seems like they're going a bit more direct and trying to match Bayern Munich, similar to what we saw from AS Roma, Bayern Munich in that first game. Galatasaray were a bit placid in that first game, and they're looking to be a bit more cutthroat and smashed away. Now Bayern Munich on the turn, a chance here for Matchday into the area, support in the middle from Alex, and it's the first goal of the second game, and it's Bayern Munich again, and it's a lovely team goal.
Everyone involved. I think Galatasaray, when they watch this goal back, might be a little disappointed because one of their defenders did not step up. I'm not sure who it was, but look at the space here for Matchday into Alex, who joins Jose now on 8 goals for the season. And Bayern score the opening goal of this second game just when it looked like Galatasaray maybe starting to grow into it. This one will knock the wind out of them completely. It's not quite a sucker punch because, I mean, Bayern were building as well, and it's only the 1 goal, but you won't score too many goals in this game against a Bayern Munich defence that has turned up today on match day 6 as a real formidable force.
Well, they've looked the well-oiled machine that you mentioned from last season. This is the sort of Bayern Munich we were expecting all season long. And yes, on paper, some would argue that as good as Galatasaray are, they're not up there with the likes of Barcelona, Juventus, Arsenal, Monaco. But they're still a decent team, and they are being, not overall, but they're being dispatched at this moment in time fairly comfortably. 3 goals to 0 in terms of the aggregate score, you could say. But yeah, the goal came from a bit of a mix-up defensively, it seemed. Munchen jumping to stab attack, actually, in terms of the cursor. And that meant that the player had dropped off slightly. And like you said, it allowed the space and the offside flag to not be raised, of course. And a lot of space to tap it home.
Just need to see a bit more patience out of Galatasaray. They're trying to force things in the final third. You'd just like to see them maybe play the ball to feet and not try and overextend themselves, because you're getting hit on the break here quite easily by Bayern. That's a really crucial interception and good tackle. Twice, actually, from Munchen, the captain. He's obviously top of the defensive tables league-wide, so not surprising to see that kind of form.
Yeah, you can see why. It was a lovely double challenge, as you said, especially that first one. The slide came in and took all ball, no man, and now the ball gets smashed up towards the area. Almost a mix-up there at the back, but fired back up towards a halfway line. It's all gone a bit pinball here on the halfway line. And, well, I said in the first game, I'll say it again, that pretty much sums up Galatasaray's afternoon so far.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to be going the way that it has for them in previous weeks. I mean, when you think about...
How much do you put it down to themselves and Bayern Munich's performance?
I mean, Bayern, I think, would have prepped fully for Galatasaray, knowing the way they like to play. But, I mean, even in weeks previous, we've seen them, I should say, you know, make some chances. We're really not seeing any output from them whatsoever in this first half of the second game.
Yeah, Bayern Munich 1-0 to the good, and in the ascendancy, all of the sort of danger areas being controlled by the Germans. It is a corner again to be taken by Matchday. Again, they go for that far post, flicked away, doesn't drop there. Now it drops for Alex. He can't get it under control. The Jose gives it away, tries to stop the attack, does stop the attack, and will, I would imagine, be rightly booked, cautioned, yellow carded, whatever you want to call it. Will the referee deny me that? I think he has. He's just given a free kick.
That's a real blow to Galatasaray.
Oh, he's hit the post. That might be even more of a blow. Huge opportunity. It was more of a half chance, but it was taken so well. And when things aren't going your way, things like that happen.
I was going to say it's a real blow because there was an advantage to be played by the referee. He stops play and doesn't show a yellow, but then that from Munchen hit as well. It's a solid hit, but just can't sneak it inside the post. I think it's the first shot of the half, is it, for Galatasaray? Yeah, it is. Comes right at the half-time whistle.
What a time it would have been to score. Cannon back off the post and away to safety. And Bayern Munich themselves have only had 2 shots and one of them on target, which they scored from. It's something we've come to expect on the in the campaign so far. They're not huge in terms of numbers, but they've been clinical.
Vamos, señor, aquí por el partido igualmente, ¿eh?
Look at Stav's face there, Harry.
Vamos, no, vale, sacan ellos. Vamos.
Ahora tienen kick-off, ¿eh?
Sacan ellos, ¿eh?
Fuertes.
He looks distraught.
La alineación es la...
I think he was given the classic Stav team talk. The motivational speech that, I mean, he often gives me in the post-match interviews. And, well, if there's a man that can dig his team from the depths of the ocean, it is Stav attack, and they're not even at the depths of the ocean right now. They're only 1 goal behind, so this could change on a pinhead.
It could indeed. 1 point is not the worst case scenario. They could still go on and get 2 and get 3 points, which would be a huge result based on what we've seen so far. But yeah, like you said, Stav attack, if I was a voting man, he'd take my ballot down the left-hand side.
I think you said last match day you'd follow him into battle.
Yeah, I think I did.
if he was leading you. I'll tell you what, I agree with it wholeheartedly. He's such a character, but is character enough to bring you back into a game like this? I think we just need to see a bit more quality out of Galatasaray. I mean, look at what it would do to the league table.
But there's a chance here for Munchen, surely! And he scores the equalising goal. And exactly what we said. A point, 3 points still on the table. And it's 1-1.
Well, forget about the curse of the commentator. I think we need to start thinking about the curse of the league table, because that's a few times it's happened in the previous match days where we've brought up the live league table and a goal has come in to completely change the complexion of it. It comes from a knockdown into the feet of Ryan Babel. Munchen turning up his 3rd goal of the season. The best defensive player in the league has scored the equaliser. And for Bayern, that one will really, really hurt, because Galatasaray have been tame in this second game. That's only their 2nd shot of the game, and they want an immediate response.
Yeah, it will sting, and I'll come back to that if they don't get anything from this. It will really hurt, that goal, but I think you're seeing now, and we've been waxing lyrical about how professional Bayern Munich have been, but they haven't been electric. And I think this is when they come up against the best teams in the league, because they don't score that many goals, they're always susceptible. And this is the problem. They've been by far, you'd have to say, the better team, but they've not really created a huge amount of chances, and therefore, all it takes is one chance, as you know. And they've lost so many points because of it.
Yeah, they haven't killed the game off, but I think worryingly, they haven't really, as you say, had the opportunity to even pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's difficult to see where they haven't been able to click so far this season. You look at the 3 players, Mestre, Alex and Jose, all incredible players in their own right, and a good team unit. They were brilliant last season. And the team in, the real Bayern Munich team in real life are a fantastic team. So I'd love to hear from the players of where they think in terms of finding that next level.
I mean, worth remembering as well that Bayern have already scored 3 points from the first game. So 4 points for them. I mean, I outlined that as a minimum. Galatasaray certainly are growing in confidence here in the second half.
Oh, lovely footwork there from Kruji. Pops it in towards Stavatak, and they're on the front foot now, Galatasaray. And Bayern Munich are hanging on at the moment. How a game can change, and this is why we love it.
A great save from Mestre. Had to be done after the tremendous footwork from Kruji. And, well, this is actually going to force a formation change out of Bayern. From both teams, actually, I think. We'll see what the personnel changes are.
And that's very rare for Bayern Munich. They're usually pretty steadfast in their approach, aren't they?
We can change him with Akbaba if you want.
Yes, let's go.
Let's go. Getson is okay.
Are we going to see that Stavatak smile at the end of the game again, Harry? That's the question.
Yeah, I think that's the question everyone at home is asking right now, and it's certainly one that I'm asking my internal monologue. You're right, though. Bayern don't often flip-flop their formations. We saw in the first game they brought on Lewandowski. They also brought on Sane. We'll see if they go back to the same substitutes. They also have the likes of Costa and, we said before, Tolisso as well. Bayern, very similarly to Arsenal, a very tactical team, but it's not often that we've seen them swap around formations. So, yeah, some intriguing eFootball.Pro IQONIQ minutes to come. We have just over half an hour, or just under half an hour, I should say, to go, plus added time. Is there a winner in this?
Well, things have just got that little bit more juicy as we approach the final 30 minutes. Headed away, still Galatasaray in the ascendancy here as they search for a second goal which would see the 6 points shared evenly after 2 games, as Matchday now approaches the halfway line. The run through the right-hand side from Jose was good. The pass was better. The challenge, according to the referee, was not so. And it's a free kick in a dangerous position.
Oh, it looked good to me.
Yeah.
But Munchen here has been penalised for it. Here is the introduction of Lewandowski right at the crucial time. Because if he wins a second ball here, or a knockdown, or something, Galatasaray are in real trouble.
Scoring goals for fun in the Bundesliga, of course, and in Europe as well. And it's a chance almost fell, but hacked away. And Bayern Munich just starting to show signs of revival here after a really tepid 20 minutes, you could say.
Yeah, and it's just going to get more and more nervy.
There's the league table, Harry. You know a goal's imminent.
Yeah, goal coming soon. But that's what it would do if things were to stay this way for the final 20. This is what things would do to the league table. As just had a bit of a heart and mouth moment there. But things will get very nervy for both clubs. As time ticks down, it becomes more and more likely that if you get a goal, you will take all 3 points in this second game.
Krujci, chance to play it through, looking for stab attack. It might drop here for Munchen hit. The goalkeeper's taken quite a long time on the ball, but finally manages to hack it away. And Jose looking to get on the run. Oh, what's happened there? Defensively from stab attack. He's made a mistake. It's across the face, and that was almost so crucial.
I thought his player was locked onto the ball, and I think he did as well. But they come forward here, Galatasaray.
Krujci crossed, and what? Yeah, it was a real heart in the mouth moment there, Harry.
I think he thought he was just locked onto the ball, but it wasn't the case. He hadn't quite locked onto it yet, and this was, well, improvised, optimistic from Krujci. Not often those come off, and if you hold up the ball there and you get bodies forward for Galatasaray, maybe you can find a winner, but time's ticking down for both clubs to do that.
No, we want wonder goals, Harry. Come on. Keep that up.
This is true. If you're not going for the best goal of the match day, what's the point?
The ball down the right-hand side. Chance for Thomas Müller. Lovely turn. Good challenge, though, coming in from Stavataki. Breaks away again here. Galatasaray looking just as likely to grab a second crucial goal in this game. As Munchen hit now turns and finds Krujci back in towards the danger area, but good defending again from Bayern Munich. This game could go either which way or stay the same, as not really sure what that means, but I think you understand what I mean. We're not sure what's going to happen, I think is the phrase that I was looking for.
Well, the reason we're so apprehensive is because in recent weeks or recent match days, Galatasaray have been the kings of the late goal. We just don't know which way this pendulum's going to swing.
Good challenge there coming in from Lewandowski, not usually famed for his defensive work, but he's won it back brilliantly there. And once again, the pass was a poor one. It's been a disappointing second half from Bayern Munich.
Yeah, it has. They haven't been at their free-flowing best that we saw from them last season. And we keep referencing last season because it was such a good season for them, but they need to be defensively very good here at the end as well. And maybe Galatasaray chase that winner. They are the kings of the late goals, so
they are indeed.
Which way this one's going to go?
Are they destined for some last gasp drama yet again? Bayern Munich, we said beforehand, 4 points is the minimum requirements that they would need, sitting rock bottom of the league with just 9 points so far. They have 4 points in the bag, but Galatasaray may stand in their way with one fatal blow. Lewandowski. Bayern Munich are comfortable in possession now. Out towards Alex. Chance to play it across. 6 points up for grabs here. It's off the top of the crossbar. And it's landed on the top of the net. And that was the moment. It could have been 6 points.
And this block from Krujci, he just gets a touch on it, so I think it will be a corner. And we know how deadly Bayern are from these types of situations, but that block from Krujci could have just saved them a point.
Well, curse of the commentator, we've said time and time again, Galatasaray kings of the late goal, but it's Bayern Munich who have the chance to snatch all 3 points in this second game. It would take them to 6 points from a possible 6, a hugely important day's work. The third consecutive corner as Galatasaray are hanging on for dear life here, making these desperate lunge blocks at the near post. He's there again, but it's back into the danger area, and Lewandowski, you'd put your house on it, has fired it up and over the top.
It's so unfortunate. I think is it Jose who took this strike on because it's bouncing. He hit it while the ball was heading upwards, so it's always going to be tricky to get the foot around it and get it on target.
Galatasaray now hanging on for the final whistle after dominating large parts of this second half, and Bayern Munich have another chance. This will be the last kick of the game. Can they get the direct into the penalty box, knock down and finish? They're going to go short. They're happy with a point by the looks of things, surely, because this, now we're past the added on time, and the referee finally brings the second game to an end. It's finished. Galatasaray 1, Bayern Munich 1, 4 points for the Germans. A solid day's work, Harry.
Yeah, I'm just reading the body language. I mean, obviously Galatasaray disappointed. They only get a point from the affair, but Bayern as well. They look